Do you want to know how to discipline with gentle parenting? I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach parenting all over the world through the lens of the principle self-government. And self-government parenting is gentle parenting. In this video, we're going to be talking about what gentle parenting really is. And when I say really, I mean give you a deeper understanding of that. And then I'm going to share with you some key things that you can do to practice gentle parenting with your children. The concept of gentle parenting is one of the new trends in parenting. It definitely goes more toward the modern progressive bent in parenting. If you haven't seen my videos about the different forms of parenting, you'll definitely want to look at that because there are 3 forms of parenting. Most people have a mix of those 3 forms, or one or 1 or 2 of them. But the modern progressive type of parenting is definitely more of a hands-off approach. It puts a little bit more of the pressure on the child as opposed to the parent doing the parenting with the child. The gentle parenting trend is along the lines of that modern progressive approach. It can be done in a traditional strict way, but most people are not looking at it that way. I hope to give you a view at gentle parenting today through a traditional strict lens, because traditional strict parenting, even though the word strict is scary and I don't like the word strict, I never have. Well, let's not say I never have, because really in reality, I was on a show called The World's Strictest Parents, and I didn't want to be on the show because they were going to call me strict. And I thought, well, I'm not strict. I don't yell at my children or anything like that. And they said, would you let your children go hang out at the pub with their friends? Would you let them get tattoos and take drugs and stuff like that? And I said, well, no. And they said, well, then you're strict. I also wouldn't let them yell at me. I also, when I say let them, I mean, I'm not going to get aggressive with them, but I'm going to teach them that that's not okay, right? I'm not going to allow them to do harmful things to themselves or to others, for sure. I am going to be traditional strict in my approach, but what it looks like to the world and what it looked like to the BBC was incredibly gentle, actually. So traditional strict parenting, if done properly, is gentle. If it's not done properly, it's actually a different type of parenting called bully fear-based parenting. So what we have right now is an effort to move away from traditional strict, or especially move away from bully fear-based, and go towards something called gentle, but what's being presented as modern progressive. And modern progressive parenting is the same type of parenting that turned out the hippie generation. It was the type of parenting that led to less rules, less consequences, less parenting, and the children actually morally bottomed out. It had a ripple effect on society that we still have not recovered from. Gentle parenting, whose aim is attachment, I agree with. The aim is that the child will have a change of heart. I agree with that. In fact, I tell people, what is self-government? Teaching a child self-government is helping them have a change of heart. So it's all about internal work. But the mistake with the normal gentle parenting trend is that it actually ignores the external component. That's when we cross into modern progressive parenting. The external behaviors, the external component, the synthetic consequences that parents have historically used are actually beneficial to children. I'll explain why. And I have other videos on this channel where I've talked about gentle parenting and consequences and the different forms of parenting or styles of parenting. So be sure to look at all of those things. Super important. And I even have a whole book about the different styles of parenting that you can look at. So I've written lots of books. These are just 7 of them. I've written 11 books. And many of them are about skills of self-government. In fact, actually, they're all about that, really. But this one here, Popular Parenting Methods, this book is all about the styles of parenting. And if you look at that, you'll see that what people are doing with the new trends in parenting is they are trying to sometimes mix some of the styles like I was talking about before. Many times when people do bully fear-based parenting, they are trying to manipulate or control the child with extrinsic measures, right? Maybe they're going to spank the child or yell at the child. They're going to use this emotional tactic to try to control the child externally. But then everyone wonders and worries, well, what's happening on the inside of the child? Like, is the child just boiling up and bubbling over inside? Do they ever get to talk to anybody about anything? You know, are they really learning anything, or are they just being shut down? What's really going on with the teaching? And I think that what we had modern progressive parenting, which created this hippie generation, right? And then also afterward, most of the parents that parented during my era of childhood were doing modern progressive parenting, and this led to a massive moral decline in society. And maybe you like that, maybe you don't. I think it's a catastrophe. So we have now a moral disconnect with people because we have this emotional overload that comes from this modern progressive parenting. Well, then on the other side of the spectrum, we have people going, enough of that. We need a spank. We need to be, we need to reclaim our parental authority. True. Parental authority needs to be respected and reclaimed because we do have a roles problem in our society, which is why I wrote a whole book about roles. This book here, Roles, The Secret to Family, Business, and Social Success, which you can find all these books on my website, by the way, teachingselfgovernment.com. This book is all about the roles in the family. And I don't mean responsibilities like who does the dishes. I mean, like, what does it really mean to be mother to a child? What do they expect from mother, right? What is father? What is child, like 15-year-old son and 13-year-old daughter? What are their roles in the family? Okay, so when we go to modern progressive parenting, we lose roles. But you know what? When we also go to bully fear-based parenting, we lose roles. So now we have this problem where people are saying, we got to just reclaim our parental authority and that we have to take it back. So it's a forceful thing. And then on the other side, people saying, don't be so forceful. So I'm going to control you and force it this way. Or I'm going to say that's wrong this way. We're going to go totally emotional. And then there's this battle that ensues. Okay. So then there's this other type of parenting. Totally assertive, totally planned, principled, consistent, firm, loving, caring, all about the change of heart. This is traditional strict parenting. Strict means that a person governs themselves by a certain set of principles. That means they have their principles and their practice and they match. That is what the teaching self-government system is. And it is the only truly gentle system. Because if you just indulge a person's emotions and try to get them to tell about things going on the inside and all that kind of stuff, but you never handle the extrinsic stuff as much, or you don't give them the opportunity to accept consequences, they won't learn self-government and they won't have a change of heart. They'll actually develop emotional entitlement, which is a very difficult thing to overcome, especially in adulthood. So what is really gentle? Really gentle is training the whole child. And I do that by teaching self-government. So what does that look like? All right, so here are 11 books about self-government. You can see there's journals, there's children's books that each teach the 4 basic skills to children. There's parent books, that bigger one, Parenting a House United, that white one, that is the key book for parents. I've got courses, trainings, this YouTube channel, a podcast, support groups where you can ask questions. Literally, there are so many ways to find help for truly gentle parenting. But let me right now just start you on some of the nuts and bolts of gentle parenting, and then I've got some other free training for you. So let's talk about how to do discipline then. The first thing you do is you got to get everybody on the same page. So I call that creating a vision for the family. You help everybody understand what are our roles, who are we as a family, what do we want our relationships to be like, and you have some really key conversations. I talk about how to do those conversations in the roles book as well as the Parenting a House United book, so you want to look into those things. But first you gather the group together in idea and purpose. Where are we headed? Right? That's important. And who are we? Super important, because if we don't maintain the roles, we have dysfunction, like I mentioned earlier. Then after that, we start learning key skills for communication. Now, these skills are based upon principles, so they do have the potential to be heart-changing, but we need to make sure they're done with the appropriate tone. So in order to create an environment where a person learns self-government, there needs to be a certain type of a tone and a certain type of a structure. Those two things work together to change change the heart of the person. So when the person has a heart change, they have chosen the heart change. That's an important thing to recognize. In order to choose a change of heart, the person needs to have the opportunity to learn cause and effect and to analyze themselves. The definition of self-government is being able to determine the cause and effect of any given situation and possessing a knowledge of your own behaviors so that you can control them. So what that means is that you understand cause and effect, and you also are able to direct yourself by giving yourself instructions, no answers, accepting consequences as you move along your way. These children's books each teach one of the 4 basic skills to children. So they teach following instructions, accepting no answers and criticism, accepting consequences, and disagreeing appropriately. And just for fun for you, so you can know, London LaRae says okay, big win for Quinn, Paige takes the stage, Porter earns a quarter. These are all the names of my children. So these children are my children, and I'm actually in the books too. So a lot of children like to know that. They think it's fun that this is our family, and they're seeing a glimpse into our life and our family. So let's talk about these skills. You teach these skills to children, and then you also teach this children your skills that you're going to learn with like the TSG parenting course, or maybe the parenting mastery training, or if you read the books like Parenting a House United, you'll learn skills, 5 different parenting skills for how to correct the problems. You teach those all to the children as well. So what happens if your child learns a skill like following instructions? Well, there are 5 steps to following instructions. You look at the person, keep a calm face, voice, and body, say okay or ask to disagree appropriately, do the task immediately, and then check back. So if I'm going to give an instruction to my child and I say, oh hey London, I need you to clean your room, and she doesn't look at me, then guess what? I'm going to use one of my 5 teaching styles, which are some of my 5 adult skills, and I am going to do an effective correction for her. So that's a 7-step process that I do to touch at her heart. It's not emotional. It's not something that is punitive. She gets to choose to accept her consequence and move on. And if she doesn't, then we have something in mind next. We do what's called intensive teaching to help her choose to get calm. Ultimately, the goal is always to get to a place of talking. There are parent counseling sessions that I teach parents how to do. There are meetings that we have. There's pre-teaching. All of this is talking, more talking, but there are consequences as well. Before I leave this topic, I just want to make sure that I have a chance to talk about consequences briefly. Consequences are vital. Oftentimes parents will say, well, they felt bad, so that was good enough. Well, did you talk about how they felt? Did they recognize it? And is that really enough? Did they have to accept it, or did it feel like something that happened to them? For a person to learn self-government, they have to accept a consequence. They have to say, that's right, I will do that. Many times parents will take things away from children or sit children in certain places as consequences. Those are things that happen to children. Those aren't things that the children recognize that they chose. And they didn't say, okay, I will accept that. When a person is learning self-government, they choose to accept consequences. They learn how to do it. It's a skill set. It was that blue book, Big Win for Quinn, that teaches it. So what they do is they choose to accept they will do a chore. They will do something that benefits the family. They won't just have something happen to them. They will do something for somebody else. These give them an opportunity, a quick opportunity for quick repentance. They get it done, it's over. A lot of people like the concept of natural consequences. Natural consequences teach, but so do artificial consequences. And actually, artificial consequences are more merciful and loving. They also teach quicker and lead to quicker repentance and quicker change of heart. Ideally, a person says, oh, that was bad. I feel bad about that. I'm going to fix it and never do it again. Ideally, that's the case. And we want to help our children develop those soft types of hearts and to listen to our teaching so that they develop that softness in their heart. But guess what? They almost all experience manipulation and trying to control. Some of them have very strong personalities. And sometimes it's the synthetic consequences that actually reach the heart first and then give you an opportunity to have that good discussion about the heart so that they can see and understand natural consequences later too. So, natural consequences and artificial consequences are both important for heart change and for gentle parenting. This is just scratching the surface. After this video, the best video for you to watch is probably going to be the full-length class called The Not So Known Secret for Parenting Success. It will give you a lot more information about the skills and principles of self-government, and you'll be able to see if the TSG parenting course and resources are right for you. So those resources can be found at teachingselfgovernment.com. But that video is found here. So click on the Not So Known Secret for Parenting Success now. I'll see you there.